Hi everyone, my name is Olga Cardamone and I'm the CEO of Eagle Travel Doors to Russia. I wanted to thank you all for giving us so much support over these weird last couple months, and especially to those of you who kept coming to our virtual tours, who kept watching our videos, and this just gives me so much more energy to keep making these videos. And well, I decided to dedicate today's video to one of our guests who have shown us so much support lately. It's our guest, Jalil. He traveled to Russia with us in 2015, and since then we have stayed in touch. And last fall, we even hung out in Houston together. Anyway, last week, I guided a virtual tour that was called In Soviet Russia. And among some other sites, I showed my guests the former KGB building. And he was asking a lot of great questions about this building. So I felt like I wanted to do some more research about it and share this information with you. First of all, what is KGB? KGB means the Committee for State Security, and it was basically the secret police in the Soviet time that ensured the security of the country. Anyway, the building of the Leningrad branch of the KGB was constructed in the 1930s on the shore of the Neva River and on the spot where a former courthouse was located. The courthouse itself was raided by revolutionary forces in 1917, and from 1917 to 1930s, the ruins remained there just to symbolize the victory of the people over the imperial Russian government. Anyway, in the 1930s, they decided to construct a building there, a really impressive one. You can see it in the pictures. And as soon as this building was constructed, it gained a really dark reputation with the citizens of Leningrad. Historians believe, for example, that these granite plaques that were used to decorate the buildings were brought from many cemeteries from the outskirts of Leningrad, and the prisoners who were working on the construction of the building had to scrape off the names of the people in order to make those granite boards usable for construction. Anyway, here is a historic picture that was taken during the construction of the building. And if you look at the picture, you notice that this is not at all the building that we just saw in the picture. This is the building of a jail that was adjacent to the original 19th century courthouse. So the jail was not destroyed and it remained, and it was connected to the new KGB building. Anyway, the citizens of Leningrad had lots of legends about this building. One really popular one was that the building had as many floors underground as it did above ground, and that the basement of the building was used for mass executions, and maybe the blood of the prisoners even went into the Neva River. It has been proven that this was just a legend, that it wasn't true, but it's still a really scary legend. Another scary legend tells us of a diver who went to explore the Neva River next to the building, and what he found was horrifying. He found dead bodies that were basically standing in the water because they were pulled down with heavy weight, and their arms were floating in the water. Anyway, it was a really scary thing to see next to the KGB building, and the diver went insane. There was also a legend that the closets that were located in the offices of the people who worked there were actually empty, and that they were used for torturing the people that they interrogated in their offices. Anyway, my favorite legends are connected with the history of the building during World War II. It's interesting that even though our city during World War II was constantly bombed and it was a pretty tall building, it basically didn't get damaged at all. And the legend says that there were captured German soldiers that were kept on the top floor of the building. And the Nazis didn't want to bomb their own people. That's why that building stayed absolutely safe. Anyway, when I was telling my guests about the history of this building, I got a lot of questions about what is it now? What does it look like now? Well, right now, the building houses the St. Petersburg branch of FSB, which is Federal Security Service. And I managed to find a little news report from years ago where this team of reporters went into the building. They were invited to see it, and they managed to show us really cool things. Turns out that part of the building right now functions as a museum, and you can see really cool things in there. For example, you can see some spy gear from the times of Cold War. I also found out that the adjacent jail building that I told you about before has historic jail cells where some really important people were kept. For example, our revolutionary leader Vladimir Lenin. And speaking of the really scary basements, the only thing that the reporters managed to find was the underground bomb shelter that was constructed there during World War II. Finally, check out the pictures of their big conference hall, which basically hasn't changed since the Soviet times. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please stay tuned for more information on different buildings in St. Petersburg. Hope you subscribe, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section. Bye!